Okay, so it looks like this room is completely dark without any light. You can't see me, you can't see anything, but here's the thing. There is actually light in this room. And that light's shining right there, but it was covered by a bushel like most people, most churches in America, they cover their light for some reason.
Sweet! We're watching the Wizive show.
When we're born into darkness, complete darkness of sin. See, sin is darkness. And light, right here, as you see this light here, is God. And we need to, when God comes into us and fills us, we need to let that light shine. A lot of people, like you just saw beforehand, had this bushel, as it says in the Bible, don't put a bushel over that, you put it on the candlestick. Anyway, this wasn't a bushel, it was a canner, but we'll just call it a bushel. And it was over the light, and you couldn't see the light because people weren't letting it shine. Because that church wasn't letting it shine. Now, I'm going to act like this room here that I'm in is like America, and this light here is a church. There's one church in America, and it's letting its light shine. Some people come along, and they see this light, and that this church is letting that light shine, and they're letting it out. They're letting the mind of Christ that's within them out. And so they light another person, and they share with that person the Christ and how they can be saved from that sin, that darkness, and they can have that light as well. And so that person goes out and he goes to another church, and he lights that church, if it lights, that is. See, a lot of times, here's a good example. A lot of times we try to show people light, and it doesn't want to light right away. It takes a little bit, but then it lights, and it might be just a small light, but it's still a light. So you go to the next one. You share Christ with somebody else. But see, one thing what you got to realize when you're giving the light of Christ out to others, you got to let your light shine as bright as this one. See how bright this light is compared to the others? And then you got to go out and you got to not just let your light shine as far as your works, but you got to go out and you got to confess Jesus with your mouth. It says so in the Bible. A lot of people, they got this idea that, well, I'll be a silent witness. You know what a silent witness says? It doesn't share Christ. A silent witness will not win anybody for Christ. Now, it's part of it, and yeah, you need to have your right attitudes and stuff, but you got to go out and you got to share Christ. And this light is not, this church isn't actually lighting up. And there's some people that you can't be discouraged. You got to keep on going. If something doesn't light up, you got to keep on going. And still let your light shine as bright as you can. Let it shine. You just go to the next church and let it shine. The next person, let it shine. And soon it'll start getting a little bit brighter. You'll see. And together, you can make more and more people shine for Christ and get the light of God, the light that was within you, out. You see, in 1 Corinthians, it talks about how we are the temple of God, which simply means when we become born again, God dwells within us, like in the tabernacle in the old days with Moses and stuff. They had a tabernacle, and God dwelt in that tabernacle. And Solomon, he built the temple, and God dwelt in that temple. But it says that we are the temple. God dwells within us. And so we got to let that God that's within us, a part of God, that life of God that's within us, we got to let that light out. We got to go and light other people. We got to tell them about Christ. We got to not just do our works, but we got to tell them, because we got to confess Christ. Because works can only do so much. Because there's a lot of people that, like it says in the Bible, how you got to go further than just loving your friends. You got to love people that your enemies. And that's a big part of being a Christian. But it also talks about confessing Christ. And I see the church, and see the problem I see in the Church of America is that they're not letting their light really shine. They might do the good works, and they might do all those good things, but that's all it is good things. They aren't confessing Christ. And revival isn't coming to America like I think it should be. See, my point in this, the reason I want to share this with you and light all these candles is just pretty much to tell you that you need to go light your candle. You need to have your candle burning. You need to have your light that God put it within you burning. And you need to let it out. Because isn't that awesome how God actually is dwelling within us? And this guy is stubborn here. Doesn't want to light, but the point is, some people won't. Some people will, their heart will be hardened, and they won't do anything when you tell them about Christ. They won't accept Christ. But that's all right. It's not because your light wasn't bright enough, because they were too hard. Their heart was too hard, and you can't give up. But you need to let your light shine. So that's what this episode is all about. Is I want to get you to let your light shine. Now, there's going to be a couple videos in this series in the next couple weeks, where I'm going to help you to go and be a witness. I'm going to teach you a little bit how to be a witness. See, I'm going through this class every Monday night at Jitter's Coffee House in Millersburg, Ohio. If you ever go through Millersburg, stop in there and talk to Martin Mann, the owner. He's a great guy, and he is doing this class on personal evangelism, and he talks about, going out and witnessing to people, because that's what life is about. That's our mission. And we're going to learn about that in the next couple of weeks. And I'm going to help you to get your light to shine bright so that you can go around. See how much more light is in this room than when we started off? All because this person decided to take that bushel off of their light. And then another person came along and saw that light, and when that person confessed the light to this other person, he became light. God put his light into him. So that person goes around and puts life into, and tells people about Jesus Christ, and lets his light out, lets his life that God put within him out, and that person shares Christ with others, and they become born again. They get that light. So if you want this light, or you want other people to have this light, God put this light in you. If you have this light, you gotta let it out. That's what I want to tell you. You got to let your light shine. To be a light in this world. You can't be a light in this world if you just simply cover your light and don't let others see it. You gotta let others see it. So anyway, what are some things that you can think of that people do that because they don't want to let their light, they kind of hide their light? Do you hide your light? What are some things that we can kind of let stuff hide our light? Is it ourselves? Is it because we're scared? Maybe it is. Anyway, I want your comments in the comment section below.
1, 2, 3, go. Okay, we're to WizIve goal number 29, and that is to light up the world. Be a light for the world. Let the light of God within you shine out. And the verses that I have that goes along with that is Philippians 2, 14 through 15. There's actually quite a few verses, a couple verses about being a light of the world. But here's the ones that I kind of like the most. Do all things without grumbling or disputing, so that you will prove yourselves to be blameless and innocent, children of God above reproach in the midst of a crooked and perverse generation, among whom you appear as lights in the world. See, pretty much what it's saying here is that if you do everything without grumbling or disputing or anything like that, then people will see you as blameless and innocent, and they'll see you as children of God. This way that you can be a light, and that you can share Christ with them in a better way, and you can light up the world, and you can create more lights, as I just talked to you about.
This is the part of the show where we'll share with you a biblical joke of the week, and it'll probably be lame and a little bit of funny.
Okay, I got this joke online. Again, you got to submit your jokes. I want some really good jokes here. I got this one online. Here's how it goes. It's simply a question and answer thing. Why do they say amen at the end of a prayer instead of a woman? Answer. The same reason they sing hymns instead of hers.
I need you to submit your biblical joke so that I can have it on the show. Now, how to do that? Well, you can either go to wizive.com and contact me, or you can go to YouTube and create a video response.
This has been the WizIve Show. Hopefully I've shed some light on the subject a little bit. And anyway, we'll go into the next couple weeks about how to witness to people. God bless.
Sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home, to carry me home. to carry me.